One major closing question. One major closing question you're probably not asking. You're neglecting to ask. You're worried about why you're not getting the close rate that you desire. I promise you it's going to come back down to this one major closing question. You don't believe me? Listen to this episode. Test it out. And come back and tell a brother. See you on the other side. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist podcast here on TSC TV on YouTube. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we're going to bring back an episode from the past. This was previously episode number 1203, and we're bringing it back to what's episode is this one today, guys? Let me tell you what it is. It's going to be episode, and you're watching this right now, 1438. So we went back 200 plus episodes, and we brought this one back because here's the reason. Right now, even more so than ever, as we're talking about effective question asking and so forth, we figured it would be great to throw in one of these closing questions so that you can have something that you can take and utilize when it comes towards asking effective question. This is going again back in the archive. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to chatting with you on the other side. It's Wednesday afternoon. It's 3:45 p.m. You're sitting in a conference room on a call with your prospect. You've been working with them for the past 3 months. On Monday, you gave an amazing demonstration. Your sales engineer nailed it, answered every question they had. You sent them the proposal, they reviewed it, and now it's a time to follow up to see if they're going to make this purchase. You're excited, you're nervous, you're just thrilled, all wrapped up together. Now, Bob, with everything that we gave you and everything you have right now, does it make sense to go ahead and move forward with us?
Dave, listen, we need to think about this further. You guys did a fantastic job, but right now, internally, we have some things that we need to analyze before we can move forward. You know, we're going to need some more time to think about it. I hope you can understand, but I'll follow up back with you and get back with you. Is that okay?
Hold up, wait a minute. What? How in the world did we get to this point? I thought this was going to be a slam dunk. And you know what? Oftentimes, as sales rep, this typically happens to us because we neglect to ask one simple question. And in this episode, I'm going to tell you what that question is. This episode is brought to you in part by TSC Certified Sales Training Program. It's a course I designed to help new and struggling sellers, people who are in a rut, people who don't know what to do, master the fundamentals of sales, and to close more deals. We guarantee you're going to see an increase in close rate. To find more information, simply go to thesalesevangelist.com/course. This episode is also brought to you in part by Sales Live Miami. This is an event put on by a couple of my friends, and it's designed to help sellers and sales leaders improve their sales game. It's held November 4th through the 5th right here in Miami, Florida, and I would love to have you come and join us. Yours truly is one of the speakers. Find more information by simply going to thesalesevangelist.com/live. Again, it's salesevangelist.com/live. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist podcast. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, as you heard in a teaser, we're going to talk about that one question that you should be asking as a seller. This one question that we're neglecting to close more deals. It is so stupid simple. But let me break that down in a little bit here for you. But let's go back to the situation with Dave. Dave is a seller talking to Bob. Dave could have done several things. He probably could have followed up with some more questions after Bob gave him that wishy-washy answer. We know we all received that one at one point in our career, or if not, you're going to get it probably later today. But in Dave's circumstance, he's been talking to this client for the past 3 months, been working this deal. He thought he had everything right. He told his manager about it, and she was super excited. It's been on his pipeline. He reviewed it in his one-on-one. it's coming down to the close. He need this for the quarter. This is important. This is going to be a $50,000 deal, a quarter of his quota. So you see the severity of this and how Dave is kind of frustrated right now. But what could Dave have done differently? The one question I feel that many of us neglect to ask as sales rep, you ready for this? Would I make this purchase based on the same information I know if I were the buyer? Essentially, based on what you have shared with the buyer, based on the information that they have, would you have felt making that decision, making a $50,000 investment? I think we neglect to ask this question because we're short-sighted. We focus more on ourselves, on our pipeline. Go back to listen to it again. This whole scenario, Dave was just focused on Dave. Dave wanted to impress his manager. He's a rising star in the company. This deal was going to be 25% of his quota. It was all focused on Dave. I think the same thing happens to us as sales rep. We focus so much on us and not have the empathy that's needed to answer stupid, simple questions that can help us from having stalled deals. Stephen Covey in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, habit number 5, states that seek first to understand, then to be understood. Now, here's what would have happened if maybe 2 weeks ago, Dave had asked himself this particular question. Based on what I know, would I make this investment? Would I make this decision? If you ask yourself this question, the first thing that you probably would think about would be, can this solve the problem for Dave? Put yourself in his scenario. He has to account to someone. He has his reputation on the line. He can't take $50,000 and throw it down the toilet. This is huge for him. What's the average deal size that Dave usually make a decision on? Yes, he was working with a committee, but his neck is on the line as the champion. If you had asked and probably probe a little bit more in your deeper discussion, you would have found out that the biggest decision that Dave has been point on making a decision with was only $10,000. This is 5 times that. He just got promoted 6 months ago. He's in a big boys league now and he's afraid. Another question is, does this clearly solve the problem for them? Yeah, they need a software. They're looking at you and several other vendors, but that still doesn't mean that they're going to buy from you. What business problem are you actually solving for them? Why should they even consider changing right now? Why not stay with the status quo? If you were putting yourself in Dave's shoes and you ask that question, you probably would get a different answer. You probably would present a little different. You probably would probe a little bit more to understand the pain and how this is affecting their organization. Maybe you would look at some studies. Maybe you would do some more homework about the industry in relation to the softwares that you're selling. Coming at it again from Dave's standpoint, you probably would want to make sure that all of your committee members are all on board. Were you able to help Dave convince them? Was there something that a couple of the committee members didn't quite understand or didn't see the relevance of in switching? You probably could have went and done a little bit more homework with each of them to recognize what they wanted to see in a presentation. The point is, many times as a business, we focus so much on ourselves that we don't focus on the buyer and what they're going through, what their emotional state's like, and what challenges that they're facing and how this could affect them. Dave has kids in college right now. He doesn't want to lose his job or get demoted. He just got to this level. Asking yourself this question, you probably would realize that there wasn't a guarantee for Dave. Was there any type of money back? Was there any type of out? Did you give him a parachute in case this thing goes south? Of course not. You didn't, because you're focused only on closing, on you getting your money, on you hitting your quota. Asking that question based on what you now know with what I just shared with you, and you're in Dave's situation, would you feel confident saying, yes, let's move forward? Now, I understand that not every deal is going to close. That's just a given. And no matter if you ask yourself this question every single time, it's not going to be perfect, but I guarantee it's going to help you to not get into these awkward situations. I guarantee it's going to help you to have more predictability with your closing. I mean, think about close rates. Close rates are not even that crazy high in the first place. And if you understand what a close rate is, it's your number of prospects to the number of deals converted. So let's say I have 40 prospects that I'm working with and 10 deal close. That's saying I have a 25% close rate. In a HubSpot article, they talked about this analysis that happened with 8,900 companies and sales organizations across 28 different industries, multiple sizes. And they figured out about the average close rate is anywhere from 15 to 23%. Obviously, that's an average because you have some people who have higher and you have some people who are hitting lower. But overall, let's just level it out about 20 to 23%. Now, that's another about 80% of your deals who are not converting, not moving forward. I feel that if we were to be a little bit more meticulous, if we were to be more, diligent in asking some really tough questions, if we were to be hard on ourselves early on and to analyze from the buyer's standpoint, that we would see an increase in the number of prospects that actually do convert later on. Or we would be able to make sure we don't waste time on people who are not going to move forward. We can start the conversion process also way earlier. And what I mean by this is, let's say after your deeper discussion, after every call that you have with the buyer, you ask that question and you also ask the buyer, based on what you know, do you feel confident moving forward with us to a demonstration? Based on what you know, do you feel confident moving forward to us doing a proposal together? You're doing this each and every step of the process. You're asking yourself this, and you're also asking the buyer. If there's anything that's awry, you need to make sure you address it. Fix it early so that when you get to the very end, it's so much more easier that they're going to say yes. I know it sounds simple. I know some of you are probably thinking, well, Donald, I thought this was going to be something else. I'm going to go and watch Pokemon. Then by all means, go do that. But for those who this actually makes sense for those who actually understand that there's more that we can do in that sales process, I want you guys to apply it. I want you to test it out. I want you to use it, and I want you to report back. Go ahead and connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know that you use the simple question to analyze if these deals are going to close or not. Listen, it's helped me, and I want to share with you what worked so that you can find success as well. Hey, I want to thank you so much for taking the opportunity to listen to this episode, going back in the archive with us and being here. If you're a first-time listener, please go ahead and hit subscribe. If you go ahead and hit subscribe, it'll mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot to our team. If you're watching this on TSC TV, definitely subscribe to our channel. If you're listening to this on Apple or Stitcher or Google or Spotify, just go ahead and subscribe and leave us a rating and review. It goes a long way when people are coming in after you and they could see your rating and review and they get like, that's good. And that one closing question, I'm telling you, if you're not doing this, it's reason why you're probably not getting the result that you would like. And I encourage you to take advantage of it. I encourage you to go ahead and try it and start using it. I want you to succeed. I want you to thrive. I want you to find more of those ideal customers. I want you to know what to say when you reach out to them. I want you to be able to close more deals. I want you to take advantage of the stuff our sponsor is offering. Most importantly, I want you to go out each and every single day, raise your level of thinking, and do big things. Thanks so much for watching. Hey, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video today. If you enjoyed the content, I ask you to go ahead and hit that like button, that thumbs up at the bottom right-hand corner. Also, to make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. This way, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest sales strategies, latest tools, and things that are going to help you to not only find more prospects, but to close more deals. Thanks so much.